For today's recipe, Link will be joined by IQ, Gastro Bob, and Yar, Captain Cook. And backed up as always by Guinea Page and the Animal Crackers.
Check out these funky little noodles. They're too small to slurp up with sauce, but they're perfect for soup. Today, we're gonna make minestrone. Minestrone is a thick soup containing vegetables and pasta that originates from Italy. For today's recipe, you'll need 1 teaspoon of fine sea salt, 1 cup of small diced peeled potatoes, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 Parmesan cheese rind, if you have one, 1 cup small diced celery, 1 14-ounce can of cannellini beans, drained and rinsed, 1 cup of thinly sliced leeks, just the white part, 1 cup of frozen green peas, 1 cup small diced carrots, 1 cup small diced onions, 1/3 cup of small pasta shape, we're using stars, 8 cups of water, 1 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. There are so many ingredients that go into my minestrone. But how will I contain all my soup? This sounds like a job for Secret Agent Man. Secret Agent Man? Secret Agent Man? A stock pot? Thanks, Secret Agent Man. A stock pot is perfect for making stock and broth. It's also great for making soups and sauces because they can hold a lot of liquid. If you don't have a stock pot at home, don't worry, just use the biggest pot you have. Let's start by heating our pot over a medium to low temperature.
Optimum medium-low heat achieved, Link. Soup's away.
We'll start by adding our oil and let it heat up. Add our leeks, our celery, our carrots, our onion, and potatoes. We're gonna let it saute. Saute means to cook your food with a little bit of oil at a medium to low temperature. If the temperature's too hot, our vegetables will fry and become crispy. We want our vegetables to be soft, so we'll let them saute for about 10 to 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. But this is soup. Why not throw all our ingredients into the pot at the same time? They all eventually end up in the same bowl. What's the scoop, IQ? Why can't I put our tomatoes in now?
It's because of science, Link. Plants like vegetables and legumes, such as potatoes and beans, are made up of cells with an extra cell wall, a very firm layer made up of carbohydrates, including one called hemicellulose. That's a big word, but basically, hemicellulose makes the plant cell walls strong. While the tomatoes in your soup recipe provide a full and tomatoey flavor, they also contain acid. This acid surrounds the vegetables but cannot break down the strong wall of hemicellulose. That's because hemicellulose does not dissolve in acidic conditions. It stays intact, so the vegetable always stays firm and never softens.
Never softens. Sounds like we should test this theory. Gastro Bob?
It's experiment time. Yahoo!
Both these pots contain boiling hot water. Let's add our dry, uncooked beans and try cooking them. Beans have a thick skin of hemicellulose, just like our root vegetables. We'll add a pinch of baking soda to this pot. Hemicellulose is resistant to acidic conditions. Baking soda is alkaline, which is the opposite. Let's see which one cooks faster. Lab rat, speed dial, please. Cooked, uncooked.
Extraordinary. It appears the bean you placed in the water with the alkaline baking soda cooked faster.
Now let's see how the hemicellulose react when being cooked in a liquid that's acidic.
Time for another experiment.
For this experiment, we're gonna use a root vegetable from our recipe, potatoes. We'll add our raw potatoes to both these pots. Will the hemicellulose prevent these potatoes from being cooked in our tomatoey broth because of the acid in the tomatoes? In this pot, we'll add a little bit of baking soda to neutralize the acid and make it alkaline. That way, we won't have to take the extra step of cooking our potatoes for the minestrone before adding the tomatoes. This potato's still pretty raw. Looks like the hemicellulose has prevented our potato from being cooked in our acidic tomato broth. This potato, however, is cooked. The alkaline of our baking soda helped neutralize the acid. What's a better method? Cooking in tomatoes with a bit of baking soda or cooking our potatoes beforehand? Over to you, detective. A mystery, huh? That means there must be a hidden clue somewhere under my... Aha! The proof is in the soup. While the baking soda and tomato broth mixture did cook the potato, taking away the acidity makes a difference in the taste of the broth. It isn't as tangy or tomatoey. The order of making soup isn't just about making sure that the high hemicellulose veggies are thoroughly cooked. It also allows for the best flavor. Case solved. Our experiment was a success. We figured out why it's important for both flavor and function to saute our root vegetables until they're tender.
Yar, unless you're making pirate soup. And then the crunchier, the better.
Now that our vegetables have softened, it's time to add our water, our diced tomatoes, and a teaspoon of salt. I bet you're wondering what this Parmesan cheese rind is for. Whenever you grate Parmesan cheese at home, you're usually left with a piece of rind. Don't throw it out. Put it in the freezer and save it for when you're making minestrone soup. It adds extra flavor.
When talking about the taste spectrum, people often think of the 4 primary flavors: sweet, sour, bitter, and salty. But Parmesan possesses what foodies and scientists alike term the 5th flavor called umami. Umami is a taste sensation that is rich, flavorful, and satisfying. See those little whitish crystals? They are evidence of glutamate, a type of naturally occurring amino acid that gives Parmesan its signature umami flavor.
Most cheeses we eat melt, but don't worry about your Parmesan rind. Although it's hard, it might soften, but it won't melt into our soup, making it easy to fish out later and still giving our minestrone that umami taste. Now that we've included all our ingredients for our broth, let's bring the mixture to a boil.
It's boiling! It's boiling!
Now, reduce the heat on the pot and let simmer for about an hour. Simmering is achieved when there's just enough heat that the top of your soup has a gentle bubble. We've kept the top off our stock pot so that the soup thickens. Looks like we need to speed things up. Lab rat, if you please. We're almost ready. Now we're gonna add our pasta, peas, and beans. For our beans, we're using canned beans. They're great because you can put canned beans right into your tomatoey broth. They've already been cooked, so the hemicellulose has already been dissolved. This is also a great way to soften the beans without losing its nutrition. We'll let our soup simmer for another 10 minutes. This will be enough time for our pasta to cook and to clean up the kitchen.
Let's tidy up, let's tidy up, let's tidy up. Let's tidy up when you're finished and the cooking's done. Let's tidy up, even though you had lots of fun. Let's tidy up, gotta clean up the pots and pans. Gotta do your best to clean up your mess. Let's tidy up.
Oh, shiver me timbers, Link. That minestrone soup looks amazing. You're gonna have to come try me pirate soup. It features me catch of the day.
I think Captain Cook's soup needs to simmer for just a little bit longer. Now let's remove our Parmesan rind. If you didn't add the Parmesan rind, you can always add a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese to every bowl. That way there's a little bit of zip with every sip. We have enough here to make 6 servings of soup. Take it away, Chip! What a day in the kitchen. Because of the tomatoes' acidity, the veggies were on the defensive and sautéed before the tomatoes had a chance. And thanks to that preemptive sauté play, the hemicellulose on those plant cells broke down and we witnessed an amazing veggie breakaway. Back to you, Link. Link? Guess I need another bowl. I had a gastro blast making minestrone soup with you today. See you next time.